Sometimes I feel like the world's against me. So I just want to strap on a black jacket and back smack it with a stack of axes, ignite it with a pack of matches and stomp it like a flame out of control. Let me slow down, I'm getting out of my soul, but what I feel is who I am. I've seen it on silver screens, in magazines with airbrush schemes, overlapping dirty with clean, but it's not what it seems, so don't trust your eyes. It's the good that settles and the dust that flies, and every day we're blinded by it. Sometimes it's hard to see past the constant fitness of faithful riots, and so we trip where we walk and fall down and get back up to fall down again. I've seen it in between the wrinkles of old men, limping with tattered canes or scattered brained about the change that came like rain on a warm sunny day, twitching to the fact that we've been torn money's way, and if you got it, that's all that counts. I've seen it in the way that basketballs bounce off of blacktop city streets where kids hide from school like bad notes hide from beats, like vegetarians hide from meat. I've seen it in the way that trees lean, murdered by a tornadic breeze, consisting of industry's notion of breed, and so we breathe contamination. We might as well masticate the malignant and swallow it whole. Let me slow down. I'm getting out of my soul, but what I feel is who I am. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and welcome to episode 4 of our Google Hangout Right Out Loud Open Mic Series. Today we have a special lineup of special poets ready to spit some poems from the heart. So without further delay, I would like you to please put your hands together for our first poet to present today. Please clap for Paige Tyler. Paige.
Desensitized. Desensitized. The word tastes wrong like hard liquor. Desensitized. Desensitized. Maybe if I repeat it enough times, it'll lose its meaning. Every day the news tells you about children shrugging off murder in video games, laughing at gore like it happens every day, right? The words fuck you roll off the tongues of 4th graders faster than the soppy tears can roll down their cheeks like our parents scream it at each other, so can we, right? Teenagers slowly adapt to their fathers throwing dishes, yelling in drunken fits, their hands shaking. Breathing restricted like a punch to the gut. I don't call my father an alcoholic because this does not happen every night. I call him a good man who doesn't see the damage he causes other than broken bowls and dented walls. We've coined these moments as mantras because they've happened enough times for domestic violence to be seen as comedy. It starts on the back porch with a bottle of wine, condensation dripping down the sides like catching on each droplet as it runs the length of the bottle. His girlfriend and him each pull out a glass. We play music. When the bottle's gone, he has a beer in hand. The sun sets, bright reds and purples, blood and bruises. We laugh about nothing in particular. No, a bottle of Fireball rests between his fingers, and I cringe.
Sometimes I
remember
like
when he said he'd never touch it again, but what significance does a promise carry anyway? Someone says something he doesn't like to hear, just a few simple words, and you can see his jawline tense like a Rottweiler before the bite. Before the door can slam behind him, his girlfriend follows him outside. He starts yelling, not so much at her as through her. Like he needs to leave a scar on whatever he touches. Like right now, it does not matter that I have a daughter sitting inside, shaking. Lisa or Fallon or some other anonymous girlfriend is having a breakdown now. Later, she'll apologize. She'll tell me she should have stayed calm, but I'll tell her, it's okay. I used to cry too. But then I grew up too big for my safety blanket and teddy bear, just big enough to be the parent for my own father, which is wrong, because I'll be the one calming him down. It's wrong, like holding 911 between shaky fingers, like red flashing lights, like how long until this is over? I watch him break our mailbox and I step outside. This is when he says, get back in the house about 15 times, and each time I stand a little taller. I say no a little louder until I'm a 5'2" giant of premature age and adrenaline screaming at the remains of the one I used to call daddy. People tell me I'm crazy. What if he hurts you? I remind them of my faith in the belief that my father is a good man, but now faith is all I have. Faith is a swing I cling to because I don't have the strength to jump off. Finally, he asked me, what's so important that it can't wait? I'm not the one talking anymore. I'm just watching him unravel as I say, take your hands off her. Look me in the eye, raise your voice one more time, and I swear to God, I will call Mom. And once I leave, I don't come back. He's silent for a moment, but then he starts crying. He apologizes, but sorry doesn't make my breathing come any easier when it's laced with littered shot glasses and slurred speech. My father is a good man, but alcohol has a way of bringing out our bad sides. I say this isn't his fault, but it's his choice. It's his choice to make death seem like a reward to his 14-year-old daughter who sits glaring at her wrist like TNT ready to explode, to make the words "fuck alcohol" roll off her tongue faster than the tears can roll down her cheeks. It's his fault. If one day I grow old with someone who needs to scar everything, who needs to bruise my wrist and my very mind as well, I won't even notice. I'm already desensitized to it. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Grace Tyler! And up next, we have a very special poet. I would like you to please clap your hands for Jessica Bell!
Ow! November 19th. I watched her fall in love. I watched her dance on stars she claimed she could never reach before, without him. But that's not true. She was just looking in the wrong places at the wrong times, cloudy nights when you can't see the miracles moving in front of you. I watched her become love-struck, and I couldn't pull the arrow out, for it perfectly weaved itself through her most precious and fragile organ. I watched her become love-sick, where no dose could be enough, no subscription worthy of such a bittersweet thing. But who am I to say? I let him inject stars into my bloodstream so constellations will light across my body, like Christmas mornings when you were young, to show I felt something every time you said you loved me. Who am I to say? The number of times I would drink hot coffee to numb my taste buds so I wouldn't have the remains or temptation of you to get you the fuck out of my throat. Who am I to say? I'm sorry. Who am I to say? I swore I had the sky under my skin, but it's been stormy lately since I cut it open. Lightning stitches to repair what you said would never be broken. Who am I to say? I watched her fall in love. I watched her dance on stars she claimed she could never reach before, without him. Who am I to say? All I can ask is please just remember that you were beautiful before he told you you were. But again, who am I to say? Thank you.
And at this time, it is my delight to invite Power Dave. Put it together for Power Dave. David Walker!
The taxi driver asked me where I was going, and I told him. But then he asked me for directions, and I couldn't show him. He was an old black man with dark lips. He had a torn and faded red blazer on and a white bow tie. He looked at me through the rear view, and I saw into the future. I saw what I would be if I couldn't get the directions. I'd be stuck with an old map in my old pocket tucked, saying I would make it if I had the luck, recounting my pennies to see if I can catch a cab again, to see if I have enough. I'd be stranded in somewhere USA struggling. Another black man struggling, watching the young kids of the next generation with the same ambitions from the last, planning to hop in this cab and leave, just like I was trying to do now. I would be stuck watching young kids run round and round just like the old man did every day, shouting out the cab for them to get out the streets, thinking what's the point? They don't even hear my words. They barely hear me beep. He was singing the same tune I heard him sing every day. Seems like the street lights glowing happen just like moments passing in front of me. So I hopped in the cabin and I paid my fare. See, I know my destination, but I'm just not there in the streets. I'm in the streets.
Give it up for David Walker! Ladies and gentlemen, we'll end today with our final poet. Please put your hands together for Queen Rogers, Briana Rogers.
Hello. Part 2. I returned home as a veteran of First World War poverty. And I'm a dead soldier on French soil, decaying in a cascade of past deadlines, and shot by the boys in their Sunday best, pretending to play office. from tangerine orange cap guns that squirt late fees and bills, and they just found out that the coins we gave them were just chocolate hidden in foil. I'm a dead soldier who rose from the grave of higher worlds, surrendering to unreplaced leaders, and my lips are chapped and chipped from forming the words that form we lost. Our battlefield has been demoted to desolate meadows of dysentery, and the fat fucks that go under the name of general given to gallons of Guinness. So I cleaned up his whiskey-colored piss in the hallways and cooked this morning's dinner today. But there's no medal for that. I salute the memories of floorboards and the stains from walls, from the posters, because those are my widowers. The memorabilia of myself, the scuff marks will be my tombstones, but they'll just paint over them. Just another body in the cemetery, a common grave of childhood and delusion. And I am a dead soldier on French soil who's standing down and staying out. No more haunts of charred armor or metallic ashes. So please just do me this one favor and honor my name. Insult the entrances and burn the body, so they may say that I was a soldier on French soil. Thank you.
Give it up for Briana. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our episode 4 of our Write Out Loud open mic hangout for today. I do want to give a shout out to you, first and foremost, for being our lovely audience and lending your ear to our poems. I also want to give a shout out to Young at Art, our sponsor, and remind everybody that next week, Wednesday, December 17th at 6 o'clock at Young at Art on 50 Purnell Place, right in Manchester, Connecticut, there will be a slam competition / open mic. Hot chocolate, lots of music, lots of good vibes, and I invite you to come and join us for poems and so much more. I also want to give a shout out to Jess Laux, who runs the whole Google Hangout, our tech queen. So let's give it up for Jess Laux! Yeah! And until our next episode, next week, look out for us next Thursday at 3:30, episode 5. And of course, I can't forget Marilyn. Our family, Marilyn, wasn't able to hang out with us today, but we look forward to connecting with you next Thursday. And I guess that's it. Peace.
Dang it. Woo!